10 fatal mistakes when drinking milk that few people know about. Have you ever stopped to think if the milk you consume every day could be harming your health? Many people believe that milk is an indispensable food, but is this true? Are you making mistakes by consuming milk without realizing it? Milk is one of the most consumed foods in the world, but also one of the most controversial. While some defend its benefits, studies point out that not everyone can digest it well. What if I told you that small mistakes when drinking milk can cause digestive discomfort, loss of nutrients, and even long-term health problems? Many of these pitfalls go unnoticed on a daily basis, but once you know these mistakes, you'll never see milk the same way again. Follow along until the end and find out if you are putting your health at risk without knowing it. Let's get started. Mistake 1. You may have lactose intolerance and not even know it. Many people consume milk daily without realizing that their own body is sending signals that something is not right. Have you ever experienced abdominal bloating, gas, or discomfort after drinking milk? These symptoms may seem normal to some, but they are actually indications of a very common problem: lactose intolerance. Lactose is the natural sugar in milk, and in order to digest it properly, our body needs to produce an enzyme called lactase. The problem is that, over time, many people lose this ability to produce lactase in sufficient quantity. Without this enzyme, lactose is not digested properly and ferments in the intestine, causing unpleasant symptoms such as diarrhea, nausea, cramps, and even fatigue. It is estimated that about 70% of the world's population has some degree of lactose intolerance, but many do not even know it. This is because symptoms can vary from person to person, and in some cases appear mildly and intermittently, making diagnosis difficult. Many believe that these discomforts are linked to other factors, such as heavy eating or stress, without imagining that the real culprit may be milk. If you suspect that milk may be making you sick, the ideal is to see a doctor or nutritionist to do specific tests. The most common test to detect lactose intolerance is the hydrogen breath test, but there are also blood tests and genetic tests. In addition, you can do a simple test at home. Go a few days without consuming milk and see if your symptoms disappear. If you notice improvement, this may be a strong indication that your body does not tolerate lactose well. But calm down. Having lactose intolerance doesn't mean you need to eliminate all dairy from your life. Today, there are alternatives, such as lactose-free milks and lactase supplements, which help digestion and allow the consumption of dairy products without problems. Now that you know this, is milk really good for you, or could it be responsible for that discomfort that has never been explained? Mistake 2. Not all milk is the same. Are you choosing the worst? If you think that all milk is the same, you may be making a serious mistake in your diet. Milk may seem like a simple food, but the truth is that there are different types on the market, and the wrong choice can directly impact your health. Do you know the difference between whole, skimmed, lactose-free, and vegetable milk? Each of them has different compositions and effects on the body, and choosing the wrong type can bring problems such as weight gain, nutritional deficiency, or even digestive difficulties. Whole milk, for example, contains more fat and fat-soluble vitamins, such as vitamins A and D, which are essential for the body. Skim milk, on the other hand, has less fat, but also loses part of these nutrients in the industrialization process. Many people opt for skim milk, thinking it is healthier, but end up consuming a drink with lower nutritional value. Lactose-free milk is a great alternative for those with intolerance, but it is important to remember that it remains a derivative of traditional milk. If your body doesn't tolerate dairy well, this may not be the best option. In addition, there are differences in the way milk is produced. Ultra-processed milks, such as UHT cartons, undergo a heating process to increase their durability, but may lose some of the nutrients along the way. Pasteurized milk, on the other hand, maintains more natural properties, but has a reduced shelf life. And if you think plant-based milk is the perfect solution, you need to be careful. Beverages such as almond milk, oats, and soy milk can be good alternatives, but they are not always as nutritious as animal-based milk. Many of these products contain additives, sugars, and artificial thickeners, which can be harmful to health when consumed in excess. Choosing the right milk goes far beyond taste. Now that you know that not all milk is the same, are you making the right choice for your health? Mistake 3. Drinking too much milk can be a big mistake. Find out why. Many people grew up hearing that milk is essential for health, especially for bones. But is drinking milk in large quantities really good? Excessive milk consumption can bring more problems than benefits, and few people know this. Milk is a source of calcium, but when ingested in excess, it can overload the kidneys and increase the risk of kidney stones. This is because calcium in large amounts needs to be filtered by the kidneys, which can lead to the formation of painful stones over time. In addition, some studies suggest that high milk consumption may be related to increased inflammation in the body. This can be a problem, especially for those who already suffer from inflammatory diseases, such as arthritis or intestinal problems. Another point that is little talked about is the issue of hormones present in milk. Cow's milk contains natural hormones such as estrogen and progesterone, as well as possible residues of artificial hormones used in cattle breeding. In some people, these compounds can disrupt the body's hormonal balance, affecting the skin, metabolism, and even fertility. Excess milk may also be linked to increased mucus production in the body. Many people report that by reducing their milk consumption, they notice less nasal congestion, allergies, and even respiratory problems. And what about the impact of milk on body weight? Although milk contains protein and healthy fats, its overconsumption can lead to weight gain, especially if it is combined with a diet high in carbohydrates and sugars. The secret is in balance. Consuming milk in moderation can bring benefits, but exaggerating the dose can be a serious mistake for your health. Have you ever stopped to think if you are drinking more milk than you really need? Mistake 4. The milk you consume may have a questionable origin. Have you ever wondered where the milk you drink every day comes from? Many people choose milk only for the price or the brand, without imagining that the origin of this food can directly influence its quality and even its health. Industrialized milk goes through several processes before reaching your home, and these processes are not always beneficial. On many farms, dairy cows are given growth hormones and antibiotics to increase milk production. The problem is that these compounds can leave residues in the milk and end up being ingested by those who consume it regularly. Research indicates that the constant intake of hormones present in milk can influence our body's hormonal balance, affecting metabolism and even skin health. In addition, the overuse of antibiotics in livestock can contribute to bacterial resistance, making some drugs less effective when we really need them. Another important point is the feeding of the cows. Animals raised in industrial systems are often fed feed based on GM grains, and soybeans, which can influence the composition of the milk. On the other hand, free-range cows, with natural pasture-based feed, produce milk richer in omega-3 and natural antioxidants. The pasteurization method also makes a difference. UHT milk, the famous carton milk, goes through a high-temperature process that kills bacteria, but it can also destroy some of the enzymes and nutrients naturally present in milk. Traditional pasteurized milk, on the other hand, maintains more nutritional properties, but has a shorter shelf life and requires constant refrigeration. To ensure better quality milk, try to find out the origin of the brand you consume and, whenever possible, choose products of organic origin or from small producers. Now that you know this, is it worth continuing to buy any milk without worrying about its origin? Mistake 5. Heating milk the wrong way can destroy it. Have you ever noticed that milk changes in texture and flavor when it's heated? Many people heat up their milk anyway, unaware that it can compromise its nutrients and even make it less healthy. Excessive heat can destroy essential vitamins present in milk, such as vitamin B12 and vitamin C. In addition, overheating can denature milk proteins, altering their structure and making digestion difficult. What many people don't know is that boiling milk can cause it to lose part of its minerals, such as calcium and phosphorus. This is because high temperatures can make these nutrients less bioavailable, meaning the body has a harder time absorbing them. Another common problem is the appearance of a film on the surface of the milk when it is overheated. This layer is nothing more than proteins coagulating due to heat, which can leave the milk with an unpleasant texture and change its composition. But then, what is the best way to heat milk without losing its benefits? The ideal is to heat it over low heat and prevent it from boiling. Temperatures above 70 degrees Celsius already start to degrade some nutrients, so if you intend to consume hot milk, try to heat it only to the warm point. Using the microwave also requires care, as uneven heating can create hot spots that alter the structure of the milk. If you need to heat it up in the microwave, do it in short intervals and stir the milk between them to better distribute the heat. Another tip is to never leave milk exposed to heat for a long time, as this can favor the proliferation of bacteria, especially if it is fresh or pasteurized milk. Now that you know this, have you been heating your milk in the right way, or are you destroying its nutrients without realizing it? Mistake 6. Is lactose-free milk really healthier? The shocking truth. Have you ever switched from traditional milk to lactose-free milk thinking you were making a healthier choice? Many people believe that lactose-free milk is automatically better, but the truth may surprise you. Lactose-free milk is not a different type of milk, but rather regular milk that goes through a process to break down lactose. This means that it remains an animal product with the same proteins, fats, and micronutrients as conventional milk. The big difference is that it receives the addition of the enzyme lactase, which helps in the digestion of milk sugar. For those who are lactose intolerant, this can be an excellent option, as it prevents symptoms such as bloating, gas, and abdominal discomfort. But if you don't have an intolerance, consuming lactose-free milk can be unnecessary and even misleading. Some brands use industrial processes that alter the taste and composition of milk, leaving it sweeter than regular milk. This happens because lactose is broken down into two simpler sugars, glucose and galactose, which have a greater sweetening power. That is, by consuming lactose-free milk, you may be ingesting a drink that seems sweeter, even without added sugar. Additionally, some versions of this milk may contain additives and preservatives to improve texture and durability. Another important point is that lactose-free milk continues to contain the same proteins as regular milk, including casein. For those who are allergic to cow's milk protein, switching to lactose-free milk makes no difference, as the allergic effects remain the same. Therefore, before opting for lactose-free milk, it is essential to understand if you really need this change, or if you are just being influenced by marketing strategies. Now that you know the truth, is it worth switching from traditional milk to lactose-free milk unnecessarily? Mistake 7. Dangerous combinations. Foods that should not be mixed with milk. Have you ever stopped to think that milk may not go well with certain foods? Mixing milk with some ingredients can hinder digestion, reduce nutrient absorption, and even cause gastrointestinal discomfort. One of the biggest mistakes is combining milk with iron-rich foods such as beans, spinach, and red meat. The calcium in milk can compete with iron during absorption, reducing the amount of iron the body can take advantage of. If you suffer from anemia or are iron deficient, consuming milk along with these foods can aggravate the problem. Another problematic combination is milk with acidic fruits, such as oranges, lemons, strawberries, and pineapples. The acidity of these fruits can curdle milk in the stomach, slowing digestion and causing heartburn, gas, and abdominal discomfort. Additionally, some people report that mixing milk with coffee can cause gastric irritation. Coffee is acidic and can interfere with the digestion of milk by increasing the production of acid in the stomach. And what about chocolate milk? Many think this is a perfect match, but cocoa contains oxalic acid, which can reduce the absorption of calcium present in milk. This means that by mixing milk and chocolate, your body may be absorbing less calcium than it should. Another common mistake is to consume milk along with ultra-processed foods, such as stuffed cookies and industrialized breakfast cereals. These products are often high in sugar and bad fats, which can slow down milk digestion and overload the digestive system. If you want to enjoy all the benefits of milk without harming your digestion, the ideal is to consume it pure or with light combinations, such as oats and nuts. Now that you know this, aren't you mixing milk with the wrong foods without realizing it? Mistake 8. Myths about milk that you believe in, but that science has already debunked. Milk has always been surrounded by myths and popular beliefs, but is everything they say about it true? Many people continue to believe outdated information and, without realizing it, make wrong decisions about milk consumption. One of the most common myths is that milk strengthens bones and prevents osteoporosis. Although milk is rich in calcium, recent studies suggest that its overconsumption may not be the best solution for bone health. What really matters for the prevention of osteoporosis is a set of factors, such as a balanced intake of calcium, vitamin D, and the practice of physical exercise. Another myth is that milk is indispensable for all stages of life. The truth is that after childhood, many people lose the ability to digest lactose properly. This means that milk may not be essential for everyone, and that there are other sources of calcium, such as green leafy vegetables, sesame, and almonds. There is also the belief that milk helps to soothe the stomach in cases of gastritis or heartburn. However, the effect can be the opposite. Milk even momentarily relieves the burning sensation, but then stimulates the production of more acid in the stomach, worsening the symptoms. Another very common misconception is to think that skim milk is always healthier than whole milk. Skim milk has less fat, but that also means it loses fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin D. Without the natural fat in milk, the absorption of these nutrients can be impaired, making the product less nutritious. And finally, there are those who say that milk causes excess mucus and worsens respiratory problems, but science has not yet found solid evidence for this claim. Now that you know the truth behind these myths, do you still believe everything they say about milk? Mistake 9. Are there healthier options than traditional milk? Discover. Have you ever thought about replacing cow's milk with other options? Many people continue to consume milk out of habit, unaware that there are alternatives that can be healthier and even more compatible with their body. Plant-based milks have gained popularity in recent years, but are they really better? Almond milk, for example, is an excellent option for those with lactose intolerance, as it does not contain dairy products and has fewer calories than traditional milk. However, it has less protein and may contain additives, such as thickeners and sugar, depending on the brand. Oat milk is another popular alternative, being rich in fiber that aids digestion. But like almond milk, it can have less protein than cow's milk, and many packaged versions contain vegetable oils and added sugars. Soy milk, on the other hand, is one of the few vegetable milks with a similar amount of protein to cow's milk. On the other hand, there are controversies about excessive soy consumption, especially for people with hormonal problems, due to the presence of phytoestrogens. Another lesser-known option is coconut milk, which has a striking flavor and can be an alternative for recipes and coffees. It contains good fats, but it can be caloric and, depending on the brand, have preservatives and artificial flavorings. In addition to plant-based milks, there is A2 milk, a variation of cow's milk that contains only the A2 beta-casein protein, which is considered easier to digest. People who experience discomfort with regular milk may benefit from this version, as it tends to cause less inflammation and digestive problems. The most important thing is to choose the option that best suits your body and your nutritional needs. Now that you know these alternatives, is it worth continuing to insist on traditional milk without testing other options? Mistake 10. Your body gives signals that milk is bad for you, but you ignore it. Have you ever felt discomfort after drinking milk and just ignored it, thinking it was something temporary? Many people continue to consume milk without realizing that their own body is warning them that something is not right. The signs that milk may not be well tolerated vary from person to person, and many of them are confused with other health problems. One of the most common symptoms is digestive discomfort, such as bloating, gas, and diarrhea. This could be an indication of lactose intolerance, a problem that affects millions of people around the world. But the signs go beyond the digestive system. Frequent headaches, excessive tiredness, and even skin problems such as acne and eczema can be linked to milk consumption. This is because some people have sensitivity to milk proteins, such as casein, which can trigger inflammation in the body. Another symptom that is little talked about is excess mucus and the feeling of constant nasal congestion. If you often have sinusitis, rhinitis, or always have a stuffy nose, you may want to test a reduction in milk consumption to see if there is improvement. People with arthritis or joint pain may also benefit from reducing dairy from their diet. Some studies suggest that milk can increase inflammatory processes in certain people, intensifying muscle and joint pain. The big problem is that these symptoms can appear gradually, making you not realize that milk may be responsible. The best way to find out if milk is harming you is to do a simple test. Eliminate milk from your diet for a few weeks and observe the changes in your body. If your symptoms improve, it may be a sign that your body isn't coping well with this food. Now that you know how to recognize these signs, is it time to listen to your body and reconsider milk consumption? Milk has always been seen as an essential food, but the truth is that it is not always good for everyone. Many of the mistakes you've seen here are made on a daily basis without people realizing the impact it can have on their health. Whether it's lactose intolerance, choosing the wrong type of milk, or even overconsumption, small changes can make a big difference in your well-being. Science is constantly evolving, and what was once considered indispensable may not be the best option for everyone. The most important thing is to learn to listen to your body, test alternatives, and seek information based on reliable studies. If you feel any discomfort or doubts about milk in your diet, the ideal is to seek a health professional to guide you in the best way. Don't be afraid to question habits that have been passed down from generation to generation. After all, your health should always come first. Now that you know these mistakes, are you ready to rethink your milk consumption and make more conscious decisions for your well-being?